evening, everyone. I'm Kelly.
And I'm Tristan.
And this is Craving Cinematics. So today, Tristan and I went to see Dunkirk, which has been a long-anticipated movie for the summer. And I'm just really curious to find out what Tristan thought of it.
Well, I thought it was a really great film. It really showed a lot of, I don't know what the word would be. It would be passion, I guess. Like, it was a very touching movie.
Okay.
It wasn't all that gory or anything like that. It was just pretty much tell the story of what happened there that day. Mm-hmm. So it really did. It helped a lot to understand. It was a good movie.
Okay, what about the experience in the movie theater?
The movie was great in the theaters. It was so loud and fascinating. It was probably one of the best movies I've ever seen as far as audio. Mm-hmm. And I would definitely go back to see that one again and pay full price again. It was great.
Very good. All right. Well, that's good to know. I feel the same way. I have never, that I can remember, been to a movie that I have said the sound is phenomenal. And that has been the lead thing for me is the sound. You felt like you were there at Dunkirk with, being in the plane with Tom Hardy. The planes dogfighting up in the air, the sounds of them coming by, the machine gun fire from the airplanes, the bombs dropping out of the air and onto these people who are, these soldiers who are trapped. Yeah, sitting ducks. That's exactly what they were. They had the enemy behind them, a vast ocean in front of them. They had nowhere to go. They were trapped, and they were waiting. They're waiting on transport to come get them off of Dunkirk and take them back to England. And unfortunately, the ships weren't coming.
Yeah,
and
no one came.
Well, people did come though, didn't they?
Yep, they did.
What happened?
Everyone that owned a boat had been in the ocean for these people, and I don't know if everyone, but there were sailboats, fishing boats, small boats, big boats. There's every kind of boat you could think of there to save someone. If it was 3 people or 5 or 200, there was somebody there
saving the people out of the water. The large Royal Navy boats were targets for the enemy and were getting blown up left and right. And then there were people all in the water, and the people of England, just the everyday chap in England, came and brought their boats. And it's like Tristan said, it was fishing boats, sailboats, little dinghy boats, whatever they had. And they were coming and pulling guys out of the water and helping, transport the soldiers off of Dunkirk to back to England. Yep. And it was a good story in that sense, just a good humanistic type story where we just help one another when there's a need, and that really was very prevalent in this movie. But there were about 5 storylines going on during the movie. 3 of them were big storylines, 2 of them were kind of little storylines to help kind of navigate through the movie. I really liked Tom Hardy, his part. He was a lead pilot who did some good things. My daughter went to see the movie with us, and we were both in tears at the end, which is always a sign of a good movie if you can feel a lot of emotions. And I think in this one, I was scared. I was nervous. I know I was nervous a lot of times. The bombs coming down. It was so close. It felt like, they were hitting right beside you. Then there were other emotions. There were happy emotions. There were feel-good emotions. So that's a good movie when it can wrap everything up in a 2-hour time slot. I really enjoyed it.
It was good. It really was.
And I need y'all to help me with this. I cannot remember the actor's name. So in the comments, please send me the actor's name. I know somebody out there knows it. Well, of course, he himself knows it. And if he sees this and wants to send me his name, I'd be more than happy. But he played the BFG, the Big Friendly Giant, and he was precious. God, I love his voice. I love his voice. And I just kept waiting for him to say veggie tables or jiggy rafts. But he didn't. But he was really good in this movie, and I love him. I love the actor himself, and I must learn his name so I can say I love you, so and so. Anyway, what else did you find fascinating about the movie?
I think it was. I liked how they casted Tom Hardy to be the pilot because the pilot was, even though it was such a big part in this movie, it wasn't at the same time. Like,
Right. Yeah, I know what you're saying.
And he's such a big deal. Like, he's a big role in most movies that he's played. He's usually the biggest role, like the star of the show.
Yeah, matter of fact, you rarely see his face.
Yeah, he's always usually wearing his mask, like in the plane.
It may not really have been Tom Hardy. Just think about it. You never know.
Never know.
No, it was Tom Hardy. Yeah.
Someone in disguise.
Someone in disguise. So, as a young man, and most of these guys that were on Dunkirk were guys your age. So, put yourself in their position. You know, the bombs coming down, the machine gun fire, the planes coming in, you know, the ships blowing up. How would you feel if you try to put yourself in that position? How would you feel? What would be going through your mind?
Well, I couldn't really tell you because I have no idea. Like, it's hard to put yourself in that position.
Well, I'm sorry I asked that question.
It really is hard to put yourself in that position. Though, like, just imagine being around bombs and shrapnel and planes flying over. You don't know if you're going to die in this second or live for the next. Like,
and your friend next to you gets blown up and you don't.
Yeah, and you just have to watch it being there. Nothing you can do but just wait and hope and pray.
So seeing this movie, does it give you a bigger respect for our men and women in uniform?
Yeah, it does. It really does.
Does it? I come from a military family, so that was one of the things that I found fascinating about the movie is that, you know, it gives you a respect of seeing something that, well, our grandfathers, my grandfather at least, maybe your great-grandfather, my grandfather was in World War II, both of them, and it just gives me a bigger respect for some of the things that they endured during the war. So kudos to our men and women out there in uniform. We do always appreciate what you do for us on a daily basis. Is there anything else you want to talk about?
Let's rate the movie.
What would you rate it?
I would rate the movie probably an 8 out of 10.
An 8 out of 10? Okay, why is that?
Because the movie is great as far as just about anything you could want in a movie. But I'm not too inclined with knowing about the history of Dunkirk. Okay. So if I knew everything about Dunkirk, I would know if the movie was historically correct or I would know if it wasn't. So I can't promise everybody out there that it's a 10 out of 10 because I don't know about Dunkirk all that much, and some of you probably know every detail about it and would rate the movie a 3 out of 10 just if
or a 10 out of 10.
Yeah, it could be a 3 out of 10 or a 10 out of 10 because I have no idea. Like, I don't know about Dunkirk, so it's a great movie, but historically speaking it could be bad. I don't know.
Well, I love historical movies. I'm a big history buff, and it was pretty much along the lines of what happened. Of course, you know, it's a movie. It's Hollywood. You've got to have the different storylines and the lead actors and stuff doing their thing. But the premise of it, where you know, these thousands of soldiers were stuck on Dunkirk and couldn't get off. There was enemy ocean, nowhere to go. Townspeople from, you know, England came over and were in their personal boats. You know, that all really did happen. So that was really neat to see. I personally would give it a 9 out of 10. 9 out of 10 because, and I'd love to give it a 10 out of 10, but there were a couple little things that I didn't quite understand. I wasn't getting. I don't know if it was like an artistic license by the director, and if so, you know, kudos, you do you. But like every once in a while, you'd have a scene that was during the day, and then all of a sudden the next scene was at night, and then the next scene was during the day. And I didn't quite get that flow, so it kind of confused me a little bit. And then it would take a couple of scenes for me to get kind of caught back up. Does that make sense, what I'm saying? Okay, so just because of that, I give it a 9 out of 10, just because I got a little confused. On the sleep meter, I did not fall asleep. Too many bombs, machine guns, and airplanes flying around me for me to go to sleep. But the 9 out of 10 cinematography was beautiful. And again, the acting was... we've got to mention Harry Styles.
Oh, yeah, Harry Styles did a good... He had a good part in the
movie.
For it to be his first time ever being on the big screen.
Well, New Direction.
Right.
One Direction.
One Direction. New Direction.
New Direction. Well, you see, I guess I just dated myself. One Direction, Harry Styles is in it. First time on the big screen. Jump from boy band to big screen. Good job. We loved you. Keep up the good work. Keep it up. We'd like to see you in more things. So, I guess to wrap it up, good movie to see in the movie theaters. Well worth the price, and just a good show to go see.
Great experience.
Good experience. All right. Well, I just keep looking at him. He looks familiar to me.
I might have played Tom Hardy's part, maybe. I don't know. Do I look like a pilot?
Anyway, I'm Kelly.
And I'm Tristan.
And we hope you have a good evening. We're going to get off real quick. This is Craving Cinematics. Have a good one.